Coming up on Mountain News this morning, a family waits for answers after a man was charged with the murder of Renata Bailey. Plus, it is easy to catch a cold during the holidays, but officials think this year things might be different than the past.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning and thanks for joining us. I'm Madison Carmouche. We are inching up to that 6:30 mark this cold Tuesday morning. Let's send it over to meteorologist Megan Dusmall for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, it is cold and snowy and so December.
I would agree. Super December as you're heading into your Tuesday. I mean, we saw those snowflakes this morning and those temperatures, they are just brutal. As you're looking throughout the region this morning, you can expect the 20s. Now, it's a big range. Some places are in the upper 20s, Hazard, Harlan, Middlesboro, 27, but as you're heading towards Virginia, a little bit colder, 21 in Wise, 23 in Clintwood, and it's also colder in West Virginia, 23 degrees right now in Logan. And as you're warming up into those high temperatures, well, it's not much of a warm up. We'll be seeing the low 30s today, 33 in Hazard, 30 in Clintwood, and 27 in Wise as your high. So again, it's going to be a cold day. That jacket will be needed to be on all day long. And maybe a thick sweater isn't a bad idea either. But let's take a look at that satellite and radar where you can see the remainder of the snow from this morning pushing itself through, and it will be gone by the time we're heading into the main part of the morning around 9 a.m. You'll see most of it out of our area, and we'll watch as those clouds are dissipating throughout the day with that sun peeking through in the afternoon and the temperatures getting right at that freezing mark. Madison.
You heard her, folks. Bundle up. Thanks, Megan. A Letcher County man is behind bars after police charged him with murder. Vincent Fleming was charged with murdering Renata Bailey at home in Mayking. Renata Bailey's mother, Christy Smith, is working to raise awareness about her daughter's death. She says the community has been behind them.
A lot of support from the community. There has been strangers that's called, messaged. They also donated for the funeral.
Smith says her daughter was planning to attend school to become a nurse. She called Bailey one of the brightest stars of her family. A Madison County man is facing sex crime charges involving a young child. According to the criminal complaint for Dusty Bowling of Richmond, he faces charges of rape, sodomy, abuse, and criminal abuse. The complaint says the abuse happened while the child was living with Bowling. Bowling was arrested and taken to the Madison County Detention Center. He is being held on a $100,000 cash bond. There were some thefts involving copper that occurred during the holiday weekend here in the mountains. Officials with Kinetic say multiple thefts happened near Jenkins in Letcher County. In Clay County, crews responded to multiple cuts in Manchester during the weekend. A reward up to $10,000 is being offered for information leading to the arrest and conviction of anyone found guilty of charges related to the thefts. In Laurel County, a woman accused of scamming several couples out of money is scheduled to appear in court today. Dakota Mackenzie Burns is facing charges of theft by deception. She is accused of not showing up to take pictures of couples or not delivering the ones she took. A preliminary hearing for Burns is set for 11 this morning. A Magoffin County man is facing charges after being accused of shoplifting at the Paintsville Walmart. Paintsville E911 members received a call on Friday. When police arrived, they noticed 39-year-old Scotty Marshall running out of the store and into the parking lot. After police followed Marshall to his vehicle, he reportedly waved a knife toward an officer's face and neck area. He was taken to the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center. In Powell County, inmates in the detention center work program will be staying warm this winter thanks to a generous donation. Magistrate J.L. Bowen and Sarah Hayden of Health Connections donated boxes of gloves and winter coats. The detention center says they will use the coats and gloves every day. And with so many outdoor projects, this donation is critical to keeping the work rolling and cost at a minimum to the taxpayers in the community. $100,000 was donated to provide Kentucky children with books through the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. Through grants, through grants opportunities, the Kentucky Association of Health Plans presented the check that will help print and send books all throughout the state to help children start their own at-home libraries. First Lady Brittany Bashir was also in attendance for the event. The Kentucky Department of Education is now accepting nominations for 2026 Teacher of the Year. Teachers can be nominated by students, parents, principals, or superintendents. In order to be eligible, you have to be a full-time public school teacher in the state with at least 3 years of experience. Nominations must be submitted by 6 p.m. on January 3rd. All nominated teachers will be invited to Frankfort to submit a formal application by February 15th. Health leaders in southern Kentucky are not expecting to see a big uptick in sickness as we get into the holiday months. Normally, this time of year is when more people come down with different types of respiratory illnesses. WYMT's Phil Pendleton went to the health department in Laurel County to find out what to expect.
Respiratory conditions around the state are low, but health leaders say that it's likely going to pick up in the coming weeks.
The farther that we get into respiratory virus season, the more we'll start to see those numbers climb.
Numbers typically start increasing after and through the holiday season, and while health leaders do not expect a big increase this year, they say numbers will be higher than they are now.
What we would expect to see are the trend to be similar to what it was last year. Later on, post-Thanksgiving on into, the holidays, you'll see numbers start to increase.
And health leaders say to avoid getting sick, it's simply going back to things that you learned when you were a small child, such as washing your hands. They say that can go a long way to avoid getting sick.
Caldwell says they have plenty of vaccine and you can get shots for the flu, COVID-19, and RSV. He says people have a lot of ways to stay healthy during these unhealthy months, and that is helping to keep spikes low.
You have some level of immunity in the community, whether that's people that have had COVID previously or people that get the vaccine, get the updated vaccine.
And health leaders say that if you have not gotten your flu vaccine for this season yet, it's not too late to get it. Sometimes flu seasons can run well into and through the spring months. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Health leaders also say they do not expect any shortage in flu or COVID vaccines this winter. One former longtime Eastern Kentucky Commonwealth's attorney has died. Edison Banks served as Commonwealth's attorney for Letcher County for more than 20 years. He was the longest serving Republican officer holder in the county's history. In 2014, Banks received the Outstanding Commonwealth's Attorney Award. Banks was 64 years old. Attorney General Russell Coleman released a statement about Banks. He said, quote, Edison Banks dedicated more than 30 years of his life to public service and to the people of Letcher County, receiving the 2014 Outstanding Commonwealth's Attorney Award from the then Attorney General Jack Conway. On behalf of Kentucky's entire prosecutorial community, we share our condolences with Mr. Banks' family and send our prayers for comfort at this difficult time. A well-known musician and Hazard native has died. Bernie Faulkner was a member of the popular band Exile in the late 1960s and early 70s, but his music career spanned more than 50 years as a singer, instrumentalist, songwriter, and producer. Before moving to Tennessee and founding 78 RPM Music, he managed Faulkner's car dealership in Hazard for many years. Faulkner died Sunday in Franklin, Tennessee at the age of 77. Funeral arrangements have not been announced yet.
As you're heading out the door this morning, you will mostly just have to worry about the cold weather. However, there are some areas that could see a patch or two of fog this morning, especially as you're traveling towards Grundy. There's just a little bit there. But overall, the cold and the roads might be your concern this morning. There are some areas where it could be a little slip depending on where you are in the area. So just be safe as you are driving this morning and take it slow. And as you're looking at the satellite and radar, you can see where the snow has been today and where it is going. It's on its way out, and by the time 9 a.m. rolls along, we should be clear from that. The main thing will just be the clouds that will be tapering off as you're heading throughout the rest of your day. But those high temperatures will be getting into the low 30s for today, so we're not going to be seeing that much warmth after the snow leaves us. 33 here in Hazard and 27 in Wise. And as you're heading off to the bus stop this morning, 25 degrees as you're heading to school if you haven't been canceled for today. And as you're traveling home, that sun will be peaking out and 32 degrees will be your temperature. Madison.
All right, Megan, thank you. And thank you for joining us. The time is now 6:39. Still to come on Mountain News this morning. Today is Christmas for travel lovers, Travel Tuesday. People around the world are hopping online to find the best hotel available.
Stop.